Hello, what's going on guys? Welcome back to this tutorial number 5, our Android game programming tutorial. Within this tutorial we will be creating our first character. So it is our player. So this is what we have done in the previous video. So what we have done, we are just creating the game object base. So it is an abstract class. So on this class will just hold some attributes that we can reuse. So when we extend this game object base, so okay, so we can add some methods. So let me just add some methods. So to public void update, so every child class that will extend this class can update, so know how to update themselves. So we can just pass the delta so they can update over time. So in our game loop, so the next method that we are going to create will be the public void render debug, so they can so we can render some shapes that will represent our player. So in this method we will initialize the shape renderer. So because we will be using shape renderer to render some matte shapes, so we can render set color. So we can just set the color so to our renderer, and we will set the color to maybe green, so we can see our player. So let's choose the green color, and let's set the shape type set shape type line. So we can just set the shape type line, and we can render. So shape type line, then we can then we will render the circle. So if we have the circle, so render that circle, I think so they have the circle. So now we can just pass the they get x, get y, and the bounds radius. So we can just pass our radius. So game complete bounds radius 30 segments. So now once we redone that, so we can now start creating our player. So in our entities, we can create a class. We call this player. So this one will extend the game object base, and this one should generate the constructor. So but what we are going to do, we will create our own constructor, and we will call this super and pass the game radius, so bounds radius. We can call set size to game config that object size. So our player will be then we initialize this class, so he will have the bounce radius. So this super will call the constructor and initialize the circle, so with the position and the radius that we pass to the constructor. So now if we go to our game screen, so we can just go to our game screen and declare that. So we can just declare our player, so private player and in the show method. So but let me just initialize some attributes. So private shape renderer, this is used for rendering our shapes. So we need orthographic camera and we need viewports. Okay, viewports. So what do else we need? So we have shape renderer, orthographic camera and viewport. We don't need bats because we will not draw some textures, we will just render. So it has initialized these three attributes in the show method. So renderer will be equal to new shape renderer, and we need to initialize viewport. Camera is new orthographic camera, viewport will be equal to new, we will use bit viewport. So okay, game config. So bit viewport is the type of viewport that will add black bars so in our game view. So it basically add in the sides of our game view empty black bar, or so we can see it later on. So game config, and then we need to pass the world width. So we need to pass the world height, so on our camera, and then viewport needs camera, so we are passing camera and game config world width. So this will be the viewport width and height that will be configured to our camera. So after that we will initialize the player. So player will be equal new player. So after that we are going to apply our viewport. So we can just call the viewport that apply. We can update our viewport to the width and height. So then we can center our camera, so we pass through. Then we will dispose our renderer. So dispose, after we use it we will go, because shape renderer is disposable, implement disposable, so we are going to dispose it. Viewport apply, update width height. So once we already done that, so okay, so we initialize our camera, our viewport, our renderer. Now we are just going to set projection metrics to camera dot combine. So render that begin. So every time we drew shapes using shape renderer, so it should be drawn between these two lines of code, so render begin and end. So after we have done that, we can create a method as private void render debug. So this will debug our shapes, so like circle or rectangle. So we will excuse me. So what we are going to do in this method, we will just call the renderer dot no, so we can just call the player player dot render debug shape renderer, and we need to pass the renderer, and we can call this inside of the render debug. We can just call it. Now since we didn't position our player, so we need to position our player. So player dot set position, let's just position our player to center, so we can see our player so in center. So now if we are going to run, so this one, so let's go and try to run. So okay, so we are needing to auto shape must be set to this method. So go back to our game object base. We have the auto shape line, so instead of calling it there, we can just transfer it and call it here. Begin. Okay, so begin shape render shifted line. So now let's try to run it again. So we can see that we have a circle in the center of our screen, but let us try to not center our camera and see if we can see our player. So let us try to run if we can see our player. So we can see our player is being drawn, and in the top right corner. So the reason behind that is in Libgdx, when we are not centering our camera, so it will render, the camera will project the 4 quadrants of the application window. So it basically render this one. So it render the 4 sides of the coordinates, so negative, positive, and the negative y. So this is what the reason if we are not center our camera. So since our player is positioned at the center so of our game board, so we position it center, so and then our camera position will be from the bottom left corner of this window. So that is why we can only see the little parts of the circle that's being drawn. So in the next tutorial, guys, what we are going to do will be we will create a utility class that will allow us to debug our game world. So we can create a camera helper class that will allow us to zoom in and zoom out our game world and to move around, so we can debug our players. So that is what we are going to do within the next tutorial, guys. So thanks for watching. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, or if you feel that you want to support my content, you can just visit my Patreon page. I will put the link in the description. So if you feel like you want to support me as a creator, so creating free contents of game programming tutorials, so you can donate any amount you wish. So that is for today's, guys, within this tutorial. So see you in my next video. So thanks for watching.